So today we're going to be checking out the Shadows That Walk, the first drop. We're going to go top to bottom, check out all the different layers, and talk about the sound design and how everything is kind of coming together here. So let's go ahead and just solo out the drums. First section here. Really, really awesome. I really like this drum pattern that I made here. And this is just the MIDI clip. I'm using a drum rack for all my drums here. Got the high 2 kick. You guys should know about that one if you've watched the other videos. Literally, it's a kick from, I believe, maybe the Pressure Pack, or I think it's from the Pressure for Vital Pack. But yeah, this was a kick I used to use all the time. And it just literally sounds like this right off the gate. And all I did was boost it up with some utility, 3 dB of gain, and then fit it in with this EQ to kind of fit it for this track specifically. Boost some frequencies I like, take out some ones I don't like. You guys know the drill. I talk about the same stuff in most of these videos. The cool thing is just, maybe we should just talk about the sound design. We should probably just talk about the sound design. I don't know. You guys got to let me know what parts of these are sort of the most important. I think that it's the small nuances of things. But if you like study these things to a T, you'll start to just see that sort of drilled, repetition isn't the right word, but that drilled workflow that I have in my songs. You'll start to kind of notice that. Aside from that, on the kick drum, we've got 3 dB of makeup gain with a soft clip glue compressor. All right, and that's it. Run of the mill, literally as stock as it can get. And I just literally turned the soft clip on and gave it 3 dB of makeup gain, and kick drum's nice. Other thing here, we've got layered snare, which is this and that. So we've got a snare that's got that transient, and then we've got that to add that sort of textural spacing to it, right? Which is a click of my tongue. That's literally just that. This is in the Pressure for Vital Pack, if I'm not mistaken. Then I've just added, took out a lot of the high frequencies to really let that reverb kind of shine through. And I didn't even use any crazy reverb. It's just ballad reverb in Ableton. That's pretty much it, man. You'll notice the other thing that I always like to talk about is a lot of the hats are panned, right? So like this is panned 8 to the right, 21 to the left, even though it doesn't really sound like it. And then this one's playing down the middle. But panning out your different hi-hats and your different percussion is going to really take your track to the next level. Instead of having everything stacked on top of each other, playing right down the middle, that's just, it's going to sound terrible. Your mix is going to be congested, especially when you start getting into things with a lot of different textural layers, like a song like this. And when you move those things to the side, you can really let that sound design take center place, or center stage. So yeah, try panning out your percussion and your hats, and then see the difference. I think it's going to be really eye-opening. So aside from that, let's move to the next section here. We've got Drop Design 1. And we already talked about how to make this patch, as a matter of fact. So you can watch that video. I'm not going to rehash that. There's actually a video already up about how to make this lead bass patch from this track. So the other thing here is the sub patch, which is made in Vital as well. Before we even open up Vital, and after my sort of post-processing outside of Vital was just this EQ to shape this further. Boosted up some frequencies at 31 hertz. This is in the key of C flat, as a matter of fact. So we're right in the right range there. I was really trying to boost up that just gruff, that heft and belly to this sub here. Took out a lot of, like, go ahead and listen to this. That weird, like, that could sound good for a real short 808. But for this needed to be real clean. And really kind of emphasized that sub. So I took out that frequency there at 135 hertz. It was really, really muddying everything up. And then took out this frequency at 938 hertz. Really just nasally, just had to get rid of that. So really just clean that up there. And then another one, right? I boosted up some more, which I actually could have done. I don't know, maybe it's like for like specific parts of the song. Yeah, right. So I've boosted up with this EQ, secondary EQ. There's 3 EQs. Good grief, there's a lot of EQs on this sub. That's crazy. See, like I said, it's the small things, and sometimes I do things the long way, but it's just the way that I know, and then, like, that might be like, why the hell did you do that? You could have just used one and activated bands. Well, I only have 8 bands on this EQ8. I could use Fab Filter and have infinite bands, but I don't have time for that. I'm not spending money on that when I can just duplicate this. Come on, be smart. But yeah, so this second EQ turns on at certain parts, right? And that emphasizes these frequencies and de-emphasizes these frequencies, right? So there was a difference between that flat note and then that sharp note. So there was just that difference. And actually, this whole EQ actually turns off emphasized, and then it turns off on the sharp. Sharp. Right there. So, and what is actually the difference here? This is, up. So I was emphasizing at 33.7 hertz, which is more emphasized upon that sharp note that I found that I wanted to emphasize, because I didn't want to just boost the flat note and then not the sharp note and then it not hit the same, right? Because sometimes you can get those weird timbral like differences. And as far as the sound itself, right, inside of Vital, go ahead and noodle with it here. Really cool. This is the thermal fluid. This is from the Pressure for Vital pack, as a matter of fact. I don't know if it comes like this, but this is dope. Yeah, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it doesn't come like this. Like, I think all the sound and harmonics are the same, but I think it doesn't sustain. I think it actually has some movement to it. But this is from the Pressure for Vital pack. Ecto, Basic Shapes, Harmonic Series. Ecto, I don't even know what that's from, to be honest with you. Basic Shapes for the sub. Harmonic Series is one of my favorite wavetables inside of Vital. So many cool things you can do with it. And then aside from that, there's no spectrum morphing or no wave morphing either. We're just modulating into the wavetable positions of oscillator 3 here with LFO2 on the sustain ramp. And then this is modulating the oscillator level of oscillator 1, which is just going all the way up. So it's like basically almost doing nothing because it's not moving. If it was actually moving, it would be different, as you can see, but it's just nice little sustain ramp. Aside from that, basic design philosophy here. Compressors on, attack is up, and then this low band here is up. That brings the low end back and makes the sound loud, right? Then soft clipping on with a drive of 8 dB above the compressor. If it's not, see the difference? Your signal chain is, the signal flow is really important. And then in just an equalizer, bring back a lot of that detail. Can you get out the way? Dog be staring at the TV. I think he's going to attack it. Not today, buddy. So yeah, that's that first sound. We already know the second one. Now, if we go into the second half here, or the second 4 bars of the first A drop, sounds like this. And that's just 2 more elements, right? And that's and then this one. Play them together in the context. When you hear it, it might like have mind fucked you because it's like a little bit different than what your mind was hearing by looking at the entire picture instead of dissecting it. So the first sound here, a lot of EQ. Without that EQ, with it, really got that to kind of fit into the track where it needed to be, right? And then I've kind of focused more on the mids than the sides here with the utility. And now for the patch itself inside of Vital, this is the Exile patch. This is from the Pressure for Vital pack 2, if I'm not mistaken. Elephant 1, which is not from Vital. This is from this is a Serum wavetable, as a matter of fact, a custom Serum wavetable. And then Basic Shapes, and then Speculation, which I don't know. Is that I don't know. Speculation might be. I don't know. I wish it would like tell you where your wavetables were at. I mean, I guess I could like type it in. Speculation. It's got to be somewhere. Analog. Let me see here. If I go to this digital section. Let me see. Let me just open this back up here. Yeah, I don't know where the speculation would be, but it's called Speculation. Maybe it's Vital. Maybe it's not. because I put in all the wavetables from Serum into Vital because they work. Okay, so I can't really, I don't really know. I just know that I know like my analog, digital, and actually digital, spectral. I can look at it and tell you that yes, this right here is Serum. This is Serum spectral folder right there because I just know Serum's wavetables. So yeah, all the stock stuff is in there. Aside from this layout here of wavetables, we've got some spectrum morphing going on, formant scale on oscillator 1 and data compression on oscillator 3. And then same design philosophy: compressor, attack up, low band up, loud, good low end. Okay, and then distortion with the soft clip on. 12 dB of this, and it's actually after the compressor this time, which is weird. If it's before, a lot cleaner, but not as edgy. Now it's edgy, and I had to bring back that low end, right? Without that EQ, it wasn't hitting like I wanted to, so I really had to boost up those lows and bring back some of that detail with a nice high shelf. And then it started hitting right, okay? And this sound is playing with two voices of unison on oscillator 1 here, okay? That means that this second patch should be playing in mono. It's at 1000% playing in mono. So, and if we go ahead and just unfreeze this. And let's go ahead and play this here. This is another patch in Vital, the Herbs. This is from the Pressure for Vital pack as well. It does not come like this. But it's retrofitted to fit in this song. I don't think it comes like this. But yeah, this is harmonic series once again. Basic shapes is usually always on my oscillator 2, and then clicky robot. And modulating into the wavetable position here. Your LFO1 is doing all the major work. It's modulating the wavetable position of oscillator 1, it's modulating the level of oscillator 1, and it is modulating the level of oscillator 3. And that's it. It's in the same design philosophy, except it's got a little bit of reverb now. Really like the reverb inside of Vital. It's really nice. And then this EQ doesn't even matter because outside of this patch, I low cut it. It's not playing anything under 211 hertz, right? And then aside from that, let's see here. There was one thing that I was missing. Oh yeah, the spectrum morphing and the wave morphing, doing vocode on oscillator 1 and smear on oscillator 3. Little, very, very slight amount of FM from oscillator 2, which would be FM from B almost damn near. And then FM from oscillator 2 again from oscillator 3. So getting this really, really cool sound. So yeah, that is this patch here. And now if we talk about what does this do in the second 8 bars? Does the same thing, except now there's a lot of like cool things that you would have to notice about the second 8 bars of this, and especially in the second drop. There's a lot of like harmonic things that I'm doing, right? It goes, just kind of listen to the tones and the harmonics. Dun 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 dun. Listen to that. But it's not in a different key, right? It's like a harmonic layer. See, listen to that. And then it goes high. But that's weird, right? How does that work? Because I'm just going flat to sharp. Look. And it just works because those notes just kind of play off of each other, right? It's not in the same key. It's like the same scale, right? Which is why they work off of each other. But even like on the sub, flat, sharp, flat, flat, sharp, flat. They just work with each other, like in that scale that I'm using there, which is like probably Phrygian or something. Yeah. What else? I mean, what else is there to talk about? Let me see here. I'm not glossing over anything. This is probably the Herbs again. It's the same patch. It's the Herbs patch. And how am I changing it? Well, to go from that to this, it's the same patch. Now let's just kind of look here. The FM from oscillator 2 on oscillator 3 is at 72% here, right? And then it's at 47% on this patch. So I'm just changing small things about it. Maybe wavetable positions, and then maybe wave morph or spectrum morphing parameters, and I'm getting a variation of the same sound. In this case, I was looking for those different harmonics and tonal things within that scale to fit that, right? Because it's still just playing the sharp, right? C sharp flat, and then C flat. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing, but it doesn't sound like it because those harmonic differences. So yeah, that's a really, really cool thing that I definitely wanted to highlight about this, because it's playing the flats and the sharps of C, but it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's playing completely different keys. It's a really like a mind fuck if you fucking try to think about it too hard. But yeah, that's that. And then the screeches are all coming from Design 2. Three-piece combo, pork and beans, and then the turtle screech. 2 copies of the turtle screech, one playing 37 to the right, one playing 37 to the left, with the pork and beans playing down the middle, and the harvester screech being my tail screech. These 3 are my pop screeches. This is my tail screech, as in it has that nice tail. You see what I'm saying? And the pops are literally popping. These are made in Sylenth 1. You can get variation of the turtle screech and the pork and bean screech inside of the Litloid Screeches for Sylenth Volume 1. So definitely check that out. And then as far as Sylenth, man, trying to understand this damn screech, how it works inside of Sylenth 1. Trying to explain Sylenth 1 first and foremost is just a pain in the ass. But basically, you've got 2 parts, Part A and Part B. Most of the magic is coming from the way you're giving each part voices, right? They all have the max amount of voices that you can give for oscillator 1B, 2B, 1A, 2A, and then the detune, right? Look at the different detune parameters. It moves around there. The detune is right there, and then your different phase. And then the wave, it's got to be this sort of sawtooth, right? And then the next thing that's really important to look at here, because I can't tell you like, oh, it's step 1, we do this, because you can do this in any fucking way that you want. You could start at the end. That's the weird thing about Sylenth. You could literally start at the end of designing the sound and then like design it backwards, like if that makes sense. It's really weird. But the mod envelopes are the other important thing about the screeches, because look at how this sound is going to change when I start fucking with the mod. If I give it more attack, more decay, and that's just release. But that mod envelope goes a long way in shaping that screech, right? It's because it's modulating the pitch A and B and the volume A and B. And then mod envelope 2 is modulating the cutoff here and then the resonance. But then we've got just a little bit of like LFO stuff going on here between like pitch A. I don't even really like, I understand it, but I don't. I just know I need to do this, I need to do that. And that was just years of experimentation and then just reworking other screeches to see how they, what the sauce is on how you're designing the skeleton of these things. And you take that skeleton and you make your own and go way beyond where you started, right? Because I mean, yeah, that's how I really kind of learned Sylenth, man. And I wouldn't even say I've learned it. I just kind of, I know how to navigate my way around for the most part to make certain things, right? But this mod envelope 1 is the super sauce here. And then the amp envelope. The amp envelope. Hold on. Yeah, turn that release down. The amp envelope is kind of important, but mostly it's this mod envelope. And then let's look at mod envelope 2. Definitely more poppy. Lost the transient. More attack. So playing around and getting these little small things in here go a long way, right? Like there's those small changes of the attack were definitely changing the transient and the way that was like that note was firing off. So these two, this section here is so fucking important, man. And then once again, like it's modulating your pitch A and B. This is, you know, the pitch of our part A and part B, and then the volume of it, and then the cutoff of A and B, and the resonance of A and B. Okay. And then we've got some LFO stuff going on here. Like, I wish there was a way to bypass this stuff, but let's turn the rate around. Let's fuck around with it. Yeah, that rate for the LFO goes a long way. Turning that rate up goes a long way. Yep. So this LFO is important too, man. But then the other big thing about this is our phaser, okay? And not our phaser, our chorus. Check out without the chorus. With it. It goes a long way. It's really subtle. And this EQ, gotta give it that treble. That's important too. I really like the reverb and Sylenth. It's nice. But yeah, once again, I'm just kind of noodling around. I can't really fucking articulate Sylenth 1 and from a textbook standpoint. I can just tell you the important parts of the guts making this up, and then say go from there and fuck around with all this stuff. And like once again, that's that pitch A/B. Take a screenshot and then try to reverse engineer this shit. You know what I mean? This is gold right here, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, that's just one of these many screeches here. And then the pork and beans, it's you know, same ordeal kind of happening here. And then sometimes I like to thicken this up, right? You'll see this. Well, what is this chord about? Well, I like to play the screeches in a chord format, right? Without this chord on pork and beans, with it. I'm telling you, that's just a -3 +3. And that's something I came up with like years ago. I was like, I want a thicker screech, and I didn't know how to do it yet. So I just put a chord on there and was like fucking around with it and came up with that. So yeah, you'll never be able to recreate the pork and bean screech without this element right here. And then all the little EQ stuff. But yeah, that's a really cool trick to try. Like if your screech isn't hitting the way you want to, or it's not like thick enough, put a chord on it. You know, try that. And it's like a stupid, dumb thing to say, but I'm telling you, practically, as you can hear in all these damn songs, it works. So yeah, that's the design too, where the screeches are at. And then we've just got effects section here. That ambient textural backdrop here to really kind of keep everything in the right mood, right? And what is that? I think that's just a reverse of my tonal thing. You notice it just goes. Listen to that. This really helps that transition from one part to the next part and actually, you know, keep everything in the right zone, okay? And then you've got my vocals. Life, tell me what you're afraid of. That's me. Life, tell me what you're afraid of. The whispers actually came out so nice. This is recorded on, I believe, the Sony C80 mic. Life, tell me what you're afraid of. And, you know, on there, that's just Fury. I'm using Fury to kind of get that real kind of nice distortion. Without it, with it. I don't know, Fury is the nice sauce, man. I really like it. And aside from that, man, on here I'm doing a lot of subtractive EQ to get rid of a lot of frequencies that I didn't like, because I'm not in any kind of treated room or anything like that, so sometimes I got to get rid of some room reflections and whatnot. Then I got bass punch in parallel, OTT if I wanted to use it, which I did not. Some glue compressor to get it up in volume. Sibilance, which is my favorite de-esser right now. I'm probably going to try some other ones, but I don't know. I really like this. This is from Waves, okay? Sibilance is what it's called, and it's real cheap. And then PsyQ from Sound Toys, which is, I use this to, this is one of my favorite plugins from Sound Toys, PsyQ. Just the tonal shaping and getting that character right, and it adds a nice character to the sound as well. So yeah, that's what's on the overall bus chain of my vocals here. Then on the individual channels could be whatever further EQing to make sure a specific thing is right, and then just taste things like a little bit more reverb and delays on certain parts, and that's it. And you know, these are my main parts. Three-piece combo to do the main sort of. Are you just for show, or are you in control over your? Add the side layers now. Are you just for show, or are you in control over your life? Play it with the main take. Are you just for show, or are you in control over your life? And that is 3 separate takes. They're not the same take. They're like literally different. Are you just for show, or are you in control over your life? Tell me what you're afraid of. So yeah, and then just play with the other one. And that's cool. That's just me fucking around, and then I pitch myself up. Here's regular. It's gonna sound like shit. So pitch it up. Here's this one regular, just to out myself. But you know, you get in the zone, man, and it sounds good overall. So yeah, man, that's the Shadows That Walk. If there's anything specifically about this that you want me to kind of hone in on, because once again, I'm just gonna kind of just drop pins in certain spots and kind of generally get a good take of everything. But if there's anything specific that you want to actually talk about, please let me know, and then we can get into that, right, specifically. But this is just a general sort of take. And to show you sort of the guts and nuts and bolts of everything going on here on this first drop. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But that is the first drop of the Shadows That Walk.
I just want to know, are you just a show?